Well, Rodrygo, we're back here again, but today there actually is some news on Rodrygo, and that is PSG deny they have any interest. There's nothing serious with Liverpool. Maybe the club has contacted his agents, but Rodrygo has not preferred a move there. But the key thing being that Arsenal is right there should they find the money. Should they make some sales? Should a spot open up? Should some money open up? Should it become a necessity? Should it become the number one target we think Rodrygo has been? Rodrygo and Arsenal can get a deal done. Now, this does mean, as I've said, selling probably at least one of Trossard and Martinelli, if not both, plus Zinchenko, plus Fabio Vieira, plus Sambi Lokonga, right? Like, this is not any easy feat for the Arsenal to get done and get it done in time. We've got 1 month left in the transfer window. We've got 18 days before the season starts. This is a deal that you want to get done. Now, a big thing to me about Rodrygo at this point is our shift to needing a left-wing option to needing a true out-and-out left winger, a true winger. And yes, we still haven't seen Noni Madueke play for the Arsenal, and hopefully we will see him on Thursday play for Arsenal in Hong Kong against Tottenham. But we're not sure he's a left winger. We don't know the plan yet. And with Gyökeres, who's really a central player, who's really somebody who needs the ball coming in from wide, Rodrygo has become so important to this project. Now, that doesn't mean there aren't other left-wing options out there, but if this is still the number one deal and we're getting closer, I'd expect Arsenal to really push these sales out, especially when we get back from Hong Kong, right? Like, I think they took a bunch of these players with them on this preseason tour. It's a little bit harder to get rid of them. But once we're back from Hong Kong, back in London, I'd expect to see some mass exodus starting, not this coming weekend, but starting next Monday. And although Eze, I think, really wants Arsenal, I think he's pushing this move a lot in the media. From what I can tell and from what I've been told, the Ethan Nwaneri contract definitely put a hamper on the possible business of Eze. It seems like the Eze deal kind of originated from the mere thought and protection of if Ethan Nwaneri is going to leave. If anything, it was to put a little bit of pressure on Ethan Nwaneri, saying, if you're not going to sign this contract, we have other options out there who want to play for us, who play in a similar position. Now, there's also the fact that Max Dowman has burst onto the scene here in the last two matches, and that could change the need for a truly central left winger. As crazy as that sounds, that is kind of the position that Eze plays, right? He's comfortable as a left winger. He's comfortable as a 10. But the player himself is going to want to drift centrally no matter where he's asked to play. So it doesn't really help us when you have Dowman, Nwaneri, Odegaard all wanting to take up that number 10 role, and then the left winger also wants to be in that position. We don't have an overlapping left back to keep that width. That, to me, is one of the big reasons why Eze is going to struggle to be the big signing here. I do think he's still probably the favorite, but I think every day that we see Dowman and Ethan succeed as number 10 options, succeed centrally, succeed just in general, Eze becomes more of a far-fetched idea, and the idea of waiting for Rodrygo comes. There's also the issue that Arsenal don't want to pay his full release clause. They don't believe a 26-year-old, almost 27-year-old is worth £68 million. They would like to pay somewhere in the 50 to 60 range, and Crystal Palace aren't really looking to negotiate. They have a release clause. That's what it costs to get the player. So there's a bit of a holdup there as well, although the second they get that deal done, it's over because Arsenal and Eze, as mentioned prior, already have a 5-year contract agreed. And then there's always, of course, the very long shot, but still possible Rafael Leao, who literally is twerking to have Arsenal come and save him from AC Milan, wearing Thierry Henry shirts, chatting with Declan Rice throughout that entire match and pulling him aside, liking Victor Gyökeres' post to Arsenal within seconds of it being posted. Like, this is a player who would love to play for Arsenal, who clearly dreams of playing for Arsenal and would succeed very much for us. I have been told quite reliably there's next to no chance that Arteta has any interest in the player, doesn't work hard enough off the ball, has some doubts about him in training, and that's just not the kind of signing we've seen Mikel Arteta and this Arsenal regime go for in previous years. But man, Rafael Leao, he can certainly create something out of nothing. He is exactly the kind of maverick profile we need out on that left wing, somebody who wants to just drive at defenders, and yes, he's going to lose the ball sometimes, but the other times he's going to make magic happen. So who knows? Eze deal falls through. Rodrygo deal falls through. You still need a left winger, and I'm sure one of Trossard or Martinelli's being sold. Rafael Leao becomes somebody who maybe just hangs around long enough to become that signing out there on the wing. And finally, a few weeks ago, it had appeared that Arsenal had agreed a deal with Will Wright, a very talented 17-year-old striker from Salford City who really reminds me of Evan Ferguson, reminds a lot of the best scouts of the way Evan Ferguson plays, a complete number 9. Arsenal had agreed a direct deal with Salford, but the player never agreed terms with Arsenal, went and agreed terms with Liverpool, and Liverpool matched the deal that Arsenal were offering, and he's going to stay there. And listen, it hurts because this was a much-needed position for our academy. We don't really have many strikers in the academy right now, and we're going to have to field an under-18s and under-21s team every week with just the really one striker of Andre Anus, who's of the right age. There are younger players like Marley Frohawk, Brando Bailey-Joseph, who can play center forward, and we'll likely see them play center forward because of this issue, but Will Wright was a big coup for Arsenal, and to see this one slip through the fingers is not ideal, and we'll have to go out there now and sign another striker. We need to be almost stockpiling strikers at this point. We just have Andre Anus, who's really ready to play at these levels, and he has no competition, and competition is good. So I'm not shocked Will Wright decided to go to Liverpool, obviously much closer to home for him than traveling all the way down to London from the Northwest, but definitely a bummer for Arsenal and the academy, and something to keep an eye on as the rest of the window goes on, because as I mentioned, we've gotten beaten to quite a few talents here in the scouting department at the academy level, and really need to up our game there, especially going into next year. I mean, Corin Madden was a player we were supposed to sign. He went to Brentford. Will Wright now. Igor Tyjon, a couple of other players Caden Calamentary, who went to Manchester City, a bunch of strikers we've been looking at and unable to secure. So it's not ideal considering those strikers would know they would have a great chance at playing a lot of under-21s football this year. So that's Arsenal Report. Daily videos on Arsenal's transfers, the academy news, anything and everything Arsenal. It's here Monday through Friday, so make sure to subscribe down below, and we will talk to you tomorrow.